The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. Have you seen the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's front yard? The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. By their own words, they were not seeking to know our Creator or Jesus. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name, for the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. So why is there a single letter O in the Hebrew text 1,095 times? No proper English was used? The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. As the text is revealed, you can taste the writer's style of wording. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. Chapter 26. Oops. This is kind of what you're going to watch, is what's above my head, and I've already kind of sped it up by cleaning these up. And what I've done is just started doing by verse, and sometimes when I know I'm looking for a 3-verse, I'll break it. But what you're going to see is me do the editing, and that way I'm recording this for history, because this is Jesus's prophecy, and I'm the helper. Okay, that's the easiest I can say it. Our Creator made me see Him 8 times. So if other than that, you're going to watch how I reveal the true truths that are hidden in the Bible here under what I'm calling is the first writer's formats, because they just appear when I start editing. Now, I've done so many of them that what I want to show you is I'm looking for 2 major words and then the least amount of small words to connect them. So this one has 3, so I have to decide which one is wrong here. Well, we know that this one is right because he's the son from, not of, but from. Or, yeah, what'd I do right off the bat? From, and when I'm changing a word, I'm doing this to the text. And then when I'm getting rid of the word, I'm doing this to the text. It has to be, the beginning has got to be wrong. In the reign, in the beginning of the, I've already got the word the over here. So in the reign of, in the reign of Jehoiakim. I'm trying to figure if I can get a different word here. I'm trying to make the text easy enough for a 12-year-old to read the text, because the more the merrier, the kingdom. Nope, it has to be reign, and we found the one time that is being used this way. Oh, that happens so often when I really have get to this point. So in the reign, I have to use the word of. And I usually, he's one of many sons. Wow, that's an early start. And that's how I add it, and that's how I remove it. The adding will show up that it'll be italic later, and that way you can see some of the editing that I've done to the text, what was there and what I didn't use. And it would be the king for Judah. Now, Judah being a kingdom, I have a problem with, or I don't have a problem. I like to show the difference between when it's a good kingdom or an evil kingdom, and evil by meaning that kingdom is against our Creator. And I use small caps for the evil ones, so you can see the height difference in the lettering. And this has to be, if I'm writing it in first person, I would have put the word our here. And that is what I'm trying to do when I do edit the text. I'm looking for this, the richness of it being as the first writer wrote the text. This king is a good king, so he would get a capital J. Now what I have here to show you where, Jeremiah is at in the text. Jeremiah is a prophet that is going to appear somewhere right around in this many years out of the 30 years, maybe a tenth of it in the first 10 years or a little after 10 years, and then he's going to be the last prophet here. And as far as I know, there's not many prophets that overlap. But the text itself does give hints to whether the text is going to dictate where it goes. For example, in Jeremiah, I found some text that refers that from the north, okay, is where he's going to send them to take captives, and that that's going to be Babylon. But the text says from the north. Well, at this time, this king here, we know that Isaiah sent the commander that was knocking on the door of the gates of Jerusalem, but our Creator sent him away, and that means that we don't have the text saying what happened, but the text is this: he's a commander from Assyria, so it must be that he heard the rumor that Babylon is now starting to fight with Assyria, and he is sent up there to, I guess, battle. We know that he ends up dying, but that just means that when I'm reading the words north, that text would come in at this king's time, because that's when it wouldn't be known whether they won or lost, because sometimes it took years, okay, for the battle to actually conquer all the way through, and to actually say, I own the other guy's kingdom. Now, some kingdoms are only 20, 40, 60 miles wide, but Babylon probably is, I mean, Assyria, I think, let's see, I should have a quick map, yeah. This is Babylon, and this is Assyria before they fought. And I know they use rivers as boundary lines. This river is so wide that it takes like 5 cars to go across the bridge to get through. So I'm pretty sure this is a real good description of the kingdoms. But you can see, I don't know how far it goes over for Assyria, okay? But you can see that this span is going to be a couple 100 miles by a couple 100 miles, close to, roughly. So what we don't know, or what I'm going to do in the text when I come across it, I will mention kind of where this timeline is at. And what you see here is we're here in the reign of Joachim. So, whoops, I went to the map. So here is this king that I'm talking about now, because I know he was sent in here, but in here is when things start going bad, because he is a bad king. I edited it to where this capital letter would mean he's a good king. These are bad kings. So this is when they started getting real evil. So that's when the text, like I said, I needed designations for good Judah or a evil Judah nation. Okay, so what I have here is a 3-verse format, and this a 3-verse format means this is going to be like a statement, and then these two are going to connect together like a sentence, okay? But they're only going to have 2 words and then 2 words. So you can see in the reign of Jehoiakim, a son from Josiah, our king for Judah. So now I'm looking for, now we know that he's going to be in the reign, so he's now the king of Judah. So that specifically now when I start reordering the text, because what I'm doing, I guess, is I'm compiling all the books that I would like to use that have true stories about the kings and the activities, and not so much Proverbs aren't needed, Lamentations aren't needed, Songs, all those books are not needed. There's only about 24 or 25 books that I need to have the history of Israel. All the other books I find are irrelevant. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking for a 3-verse format. This word, he doesn't say one word, he says many words when he talks. So there would be an S on this, and it would be these words came, or these words came from Y. And usually it would have a missing word, such as like Jeremiah right here, saying, okay, came from YV to Jeremiah. Maybe that's not right either, but that's what I'm going to be doing, figuring it out as I go. So this has not enough text because look, we have it starting over again here. Thus usually means this. This was, now I don't know if it's a prophecy from our Creator, but I do know that I honor and respect our Creator by using capital letters. So I don't really know what's going on here with this, but it should be here. Where's Jeremiah, though? He's not mentioned yet. Okay, so this is confusing. Because now I can't, without Jeremiah here, I have to say something like this, but it would have to be where I have to change this word, or not change it, but move this word to here. And when I do that in yellow. YV, and it says stand by the courthouse. So right there, that means commanded. And then me. Because now I've got two full words, and I've included now Jeremiah with the word me here. Okay. Command me to, now let's see here. Gotta get rid of that. To stand now, this is the court, and it's going to be the courtyard. But if you're going to stand, you got to stand by the gates. For, and since I'm adding gates, I do this to the text because that's my major word that I'm adding. To stand by the gates the courtyard of, and I'll replace this with my house. So this would be our Creator, and I'm changing this to his house. Okay, now that's a 3 verse. He was commanded, and then what to do and where was it at. Okay, so that means these words are not needed now. Why have you commanded me to stand by the gates for the to the, it has to be to the courtyard here, for to the courtyard of my house. Usually when it's speak to all, speak to everyone. Usually this means that all the bypassers that are going by in the street. So sometimes it'll mention to take a priest there, or now the king's house is literally across the street at this time. Okay. When David wanted to be as close to the our Creator's house as possible. So I don't care what you understand in history or how they've ever wrote it. That isn't where it's at. Because when he's proclaiming or declaring prophecy, the guards outside the house are probably going to run inside and say, there's a prophet declaring. And then the king will send out his advisors, listen to the words. The priests are going to hear the words. So here it's saying to everyone. So now you've got the idea of who everyone is. All right. So it's a little bit more descriptive than all, the way I see it. And speak to everyone let me go up here and grab this, Judah. Come down here. The city of Judah. Now this doesn't line up right here. This feels wrong. It doesn't have a second part, especially with the word cities. This would be to everyone from the cities for Judah. Okay, let me add that. Sometimes when I'm talking, my mind can't think at the same time. So, but usually after I talk long enough, I kind of get it. I get the idea. Talk to everyone from the cities for Judah. Now, that's kind of a stretch to say that is what's all the bypassers are. So this still has a question mark to me. But when it says from the cities for Judah, who came. Whoops, I gotta get our creator speaking, so I want to do this. If I get rid of the word who, speak to everyone from the cities for Judah, coming for atonement. They aren't there to worship. Worship is just bowing down to our creator, showing reverence. So it has to be for atonement. They're bringing their sin offering. Okay. So let me explain something in the timeline that you should know about. This king here cleaned up all this crap that these two kings, even though he's only got 2 years in and he was very young. This king decided to put his goddess idol into the meeting room with our creator. Up to there, in here, at the very beginning, the priests weren't that corrupt, and our creator was still appearing over the mercy seat, okay? He was appearing as light, and he would speak through his light. And this guy didn't care. It seemed like none of the bad priests started getting in there. But when he can do that into his meeting room, you know that all the priests are corrupt. This guy come along, he threw all the priests out, and he put his good priest in. So I can see that for some of the years, this will have to be at the very earliest of his years that people are still coming to make atonement for their sin. The act of coming in, atonement, I hope you understand that word, is the male of the family coming to say, we need to be atoned for your forgiveness so we aren't kicked out of the kingdom of heaven. Okay. At the beginning, it was to stay within his the nation Israel. Okay. So now we have a real good chance here that there was still good priest here and this guy here. So we got to hear what's going to happen here because it's for atonement. for their and that is the full act of all the process to be forgiven that our Creator set in the Sinai. So, from the cities for Judah, and I'm going to have to say coming for their atonement. Okay. Now I can say I got this word and I don't need this word. Now you see the next 3 verses built up. I still don't know what it means by speak here. So I need to say, because it's either he's going to be declaring his prophecy or say it's prophecy. So I don't, what I like to try to do is give it a color that I need to pay attention to, that there's still problems in the text. So, all the words, because it can't be by his house. You can't get into the courtyard. The courtyard was specifically, even the king couldn't enter the courtyard, okay? So knowing that, you know that that verse is wrong, or that those words are wrong. Now this is reading odd because speak to everyone, and then from this make an atonement. All my words. And here words could be prophecy, not the words. All, every, depends on how my mood goes for that day, to whether it's all or every. All my words. Now, to me, what I'm questioning here is it a vision, or are these words just coming to him in his head? And Jesus defines what is Holy Spirit as our Creator's voice coming out someone's mouth and then them prophesying, or words coming to the prophet's mind and then he'll repeat what's being said to him. All my words I commanded you to speak. All my words I commanded, not really commanded, he told him to speak. I've got commanded up here, so it has to be told you. All my words I told you to speak to them. Do not omit a word. Let me take a look at the word omit over here. This is the concordance that I use, and it is the New American Standard Concordance. And this just, the numbers tell you how many times that the words were used for this word here, this Hebrew word. Wow, it's only being used once, but that's a perfect fit, I think, out of what I'm seeing, which is very rare when they do that. Do not omit a word. And that's unusual to get the whole verse, too, without me doing something to the text somewhere. Perhaps they will listen, and everyone not turn, but repent. Everyone will, perhaps they will listen, and everyone will repent from their. Now, the word atonement or worship doesn't fit here. Okay? And that's weird that I can spot that this is not like this text. Their evil way is their evil life. So I might as well just put life in there. Now this is telling me that when I put down everyone, this was be the priest. This is not this. There's something wrong here. Perhaps everyone will repent from their evil life. And here our creator doesn't repent. Okay. That's funny that it's saying that I may repent. So that I turn from. Okay, planning to do that helps. All right. That I turn from. This has to be their destruction. This is destruction. Okay. I've been having trouble with YouTube. It lets me stream and then it shuts me down, but my software tries to reconnect. Lately I've been checking too early because it does reconnect, and it puts up like today I got a 1 hour and 20 minutes in it, and then it disconnected, and I said I'm just going to wait today, and then I come back 2 hours later and YouTube had made whatever was left they were still getting from the stream put that last 9 minutes in. So, anyways, I guess that's my problem. That I turn from their destruction. That I Well, I guess that I am planning to do sounds okay. So let me put that I'm planning to do. And I don't think this is because that's already involved. I am planning to do because of this has to be again their evilness. And evilness does describe deeds. So I'm looking to keep the word because on purpose here. Because of their evilness. And then I don't need this. Because I'm trying to get rid of as many small little words as possible too. So you not will, you are to. Now here's again where it's either it is prophecy or what's going on here. I don't know. To them. Okay. I need, whoops. And I guess I use commanded here. If I use commanded there, get rid of that. Put that back up there. You are to prophesy to them. Actually, this verse doesn't need to be here. Hold on. So, you are to say to them, yeah, these aren't needed. If you will not listen. I'm trying to figure out who me is. Is he able to say the prophet speaking these words? You are to, I guess the word here I'm going to put is herald to them because they're going to be walking by. So, herald to them. Herald to them. If you do not to walk in this has to be by the commandments. Commandments are the agreement of why they're either supposed to follow the commandments because if not, they were to be cast off the land. And that's what I know is going to happen here. So, or at least that's how he has to say or explain why. Listen to me, not walk, but live again. To You are to live. I'm still having problems because it's our Creator speaking here. You are to live by, I'm just going to say the commandments. I could put, I just don't see it as his or my commandments would work here, because he's heralding these things. He's not going to, and our Creator's telling him to say these words. So I don't think our Creator speaks in third person. You are to live, he's, anyways. If you will not listen to me, wait a second, I got this wrong. And nor, that's the word that I'm missing. If you will not listen to me, nor live by the commandments. This is just a redundance of what's being said, so don't need that involved here. This he's already said to listen to him, or listen to these new words. Oh, and I know the prophets before have heralded that Jerusalem is going to be sent into captivity or destroyed, or be made desolate, I guess. You will not listen to me, nor live by the commandments. For you have not listened to the words from his prophets whom he has been sending to you. Okay. If I get this out, his prophets whom prophets whom I have to put it as he. Now I could change this all later when I read it and get a different feeling. Right now I'll do it this way. He has been sending to you. Okay. Nor listened to the words, listen to his words, his prophecies, not words. And that's usually what prophets, from his prophets, whom he has been sending to you. Then he will. So it's a warning, is what I'm seeing. I'm getting the feeling that is here. Remember, I told you this word I was wondering about? And go to my house and warn. How's that? I knew there was going to be something here. Warn everyone. Kind of cool how that gets done. See that? Okay. I can. It just happens. Okay. It's sometimes hard to explain, but as you see it, just. And those two verses go together. Those two go together. And then these subjects are going to change. And then this is going to be two here. And these two here are going to be here. So, okay, all that was a warning. When I was working on the text, it just, all of a sudden, this little thing up here works sometimes. Okay. This has been said, so I know that doesn't need to be there anymore. So then he will make. Now, Shiloh, what is Shiloh? Shiloh is the city that the priests' wives and their sons and daughters for the priest would come also at night and live. And about a mile and a half, I would say, away from this city, where the tent for meeting was set up. Because when people are coming for making their atonement, you needed an end. You needed for people to come from wherever they're at to rest, be able to feed their animals. You have to understand what the city Shiloh means, because the text that you're reading doesn't explain that to you. So then it wasn't that he abandoned it. Okay. David decided to bring the tent down actually to Hebron. And actually, when the priests were carrying on the poles so they didn't touch the items that were going to be placed inside his house, one of the priests realized that the chest that held the 12 commandments looked like it started wobbling, and the guys were having too much hard time to do that, so he put his hand out to slow it down, because they're walking up and down and through a hill country, okay? They're on the road, but it's just that he touched it and he killed them. And David decided, we're going to stop there. Our Creator's going to say this is where he wants his tent to be. So it can't be, I will make it like Shiloh. So I can't use the word Shiloh. Now that all that was just so I can do this, but it's important for you to know. Then he will make, if he's standing at the gates, he could call it this house, because it's not actually our Creator's house anymore, because they're starting to make it evil. So I'll put it as it's partially evil right now by not having it bold, and do that as well with this. This house and this city a curse. That's not make like a curse. That doesn't make any sense. And he will make, and he will make this house and the city. It's got to be for destruction, and then go on from there, because this is not true. To all the nations of the earth. That's not true either. Uh, because I'm very sensitive to the text. When it says all the nations of the earth, look, China and India probably had at least 500 million people each. Okay, even at this time. So they didn't really know what was going on over there. So this is, our Creator would never be that stupid to say these words anyway. So get rid of them. And this city, let me see how this is. Okay, if I got two here, then I got to find it. He's talking about this city. He could be talking about, and they would have seers and not prophets. So this city, and it would be, and their, how do I do this? Because I'm constantly thinking of where this text is going as far as dating it. This could be diviners as well, but I'm just thinking seers. Because prophets I'm keeping for true prophets. And their priests and seers. Here, speak these words now. This has already been, this can't be here. If I'm following this text, that can't be here. And all the people. This is, when I said who he was talking to by the house, where was that? Warn everyone from the cities of Judah. See, if it was to warn everyone, and their priests and seers. Now, if it's house, would be the third one. It's already described here, so I can't do that. I'm just trying to see if this is the lost words that I was saying. It's not really reading correct up there, but what I'm seeing here is that there's not enough here to actually use, I guess. So I'll just get rid of the text. When Jeremiah finished speaking, all his words. Now this is like, notice the style of this writer speaking as he's the scroll or scribe writing the text. When Jeremiah, because it would be, otherwise it would read like, when I, Jeremiah, finished speaking. So is Jeremiah his own scribe? Because some of them, it seems like they were, okay? And for me to do that in the text, I have to reflect that as saying, I, Jeremiah. And I'm going to do that. And when I, Jeremiah, finished speaking, all YV, all I was commanded, all I was commanded. See how beautiful that reads? Like, hey, now we got Jeremiah, words directly from him. All I was commanded, because I don't need this. See how it's got to him? Like they even figured out that it was somebody else writing the words for him. But I'll make it as he does. Now he's going to have Baruch help him out later as writing to the king, because he's locked up in a house made for him. So he's going to send for a scribe to have the scribe write, and the scribe is going to say, I got this directly from him. So we knew he could write then here, and that's what's unique here when you try to put back first person. And when I, Jeremiah, finished speaking all I was commanded. Okay, I'm not going to use those words because they're going to seize him. Let's say he's going to die. They're going to have a conversation. So now the priest, like I said, this is at the courtyard. So when he's out there heralding, the priests are going to come out of the courtyard now, or to see what's going on. The guards have sent for somebody from inside the king's room, so it's going to be like his advisor or even a scribe. The king's had a scribe. So send him out there to listen to what's going on. Prophets, they wouldn't have been there. Seers wouldn't have been there. I was commanded. Not all the people, not every one of them. They were all walking by doing their own business as well. So some of the priests seized him and seized me and said, seized me. Let me see what other word here. My mind has got a few words could put there, but I want to see what word would be that I could use where it says seized, grabbed hold, caught, captured. Because seizing, I'm trying to keep that as to, because there's going to be like 150,000 words, okay? And I'm trying to be word specific, so it's always meaning the same thing. And seized means that, example, they were seizing the property. I can't say they grabbed the property. I have to say that the judges and scribes and lawyers were seizing the property. So I have to come up with another word here. And so when I got to say that they grabbed him, they grabbed me. Does that need two B's? Yep, it does. They grabbed me and said, it has to be some of the priest. Or it could be the priest attendants grabbed me. Because each priest had like I believe, two assistants. Okay. Well, I don't need to get in that. I'm trying to just edit this text. I got to use the word then, but it can't be as an important word, but I got to, whoops. Then the priest's attendants, because they got people down here that prophets, so there must have been a word here. Attendants, attendance, is that how yep, got away with it. Okay, but I'm adding that word and I'm going to get rid of this. Then the priest attendants grabbed me and said, you must die. Okay, now that connects together, so I've got a little bit of space here. Now, why have you prophesied? You must die, for you prophesied. Not why have you. You prophesied. Like they had give a warning, like these priests give a warning there. So now you can see in the timeline now, that's what I was guessing at. When he put in the good priests, the ones getting back in somehow got in because the text isn't going to explain that, but it's saying this. So this is almost like maybe later in, not at the beginning, like the text that start. So in the reign of Joachim, which means, yeah, he could have put priests, replaced them, and now he's got his own priests. They're corrupt, and they said nobody prophesies anymore by our Creator. Okay, I just need to put this in my head. You prophesied in the name you prophesied, and those, but they don't believe it's prophecy. So prophesied, and no, those were missing. Words were missing. So you prophesied for YV. So I'm going to have to put for YV, and this would be. This is not needed. This, I don't believe him. You prophesied for YV. See, this is what is missing. Okay, above. And they'd get mad because of the house. He's speaking against the house. Saying, and they would say it's our house now. So I'm going to put that as how they would be speaking, and he'll be writing it in first person. Saying, our house will be desolate and uninhabited. Habited, ED. Now I got to see if there's such a word. Okay. So, yep, there is such a word. Okay. Now the people, because this conversation, if it's the right conversation I can think of, prophesied against this and hearing, I think they're going to free him, okay? Yeah, that these words have been heard before. Changement, origin. And then he's going to say, if you put me to death. Okay, I'm looking for that right there. No death sentence. Okay. Now, I got to remember that as I'm editing the text, that they're going to free him. I didn't know if this was they're going to throw him in stockades again or not. So, this house will be desolate. Will be desolate and uninhabited. And then I have to have, okay, now there's excitement kicked up. Then, whoops. Then some people went from all to some, okay, just like that. But that's more of a true story. You can't say that all the bypasses were for Jeremiah. What happened here? Then some people gathered about me. Well, if I put it down here, it would be me, and I wouldn't say I'd be adding it, I'm just changing it. Gathered about me. Not in the house, can't be that, can't be there. He's not, he's outside. Courtyard, by the gates for why, no, that wouldn't be right either. So this is going to be here. And when the princes of Judah heard these things, they came up to the king's house and sat at the entrance and the gate of the house. I don't think any of that is needed, really, as being truthful. He's heralding. The princes are usually the sons of the king and not noted as princes. Prince, this is a word used for secular kingdoms, kingdoms, not by Israelis. Okay. Okay, gathered about me. No, there's going to be no death sentence later, so but this we already know of. He was there. That's in the text. He's coming out. He's heralding there for a while. So yeah, this text I'm going to say is not needed. Now this would be Jeremiah. Then I said to the guards for the king and to some of the people, saying, "Why have you sent me to prophesy against them in his house?" And so it is partially house, not house. It's the priest. So the priests aren't fully corrupt yet. And then I said, gathered about me. Well, which verse can I use down here? I can't use this. I'm saying that he's at the gate, so I can say, can I use that word? I need something to go with this word. Although this is too far down, so what I'm just going to do is I'm going to say there's a verse here missing. Is some of the people gathered about me because they heard the commotion, they heard the argument, that type of thing is going to be put there. Then I said to them, so now I have the next verse here. Then I said to everyone, and these aren't going to be officials, these are going to be guards. They're at the king's house, they're across, they're watching this, and he's got to get the guards involved because they would realize that he is a prophet, or only the king could make this call. Okay, so the guards are going to step in to see what's going on here, because what are these officials? The question is, what are the officials? Who are the officials? Then I said to everyone and the guards, this can't be right at all, any of it. So this, because this is going to be a comma, so this here is going to be what is missing. Then I said to everyone and the guards, shut the fuck up. No, I'm saying, this would have to be like, I told them this it has to be I said. I told them I said. Okay, so this is going to get put right here. I said, I explained, let him know that he's the prophet. In other words, if he said no, but he's explaining here is what he's doing. So I explained why he sent me to prophesy against them in his house. Okay. And I'm missing one word here to put in here. I broke free and told them. That would be good words right there. Then I said to everyone and the guards. It's after this. Oops. To everyone and the guards, I told them to free me. I told them to free me. So I could explain. Okay, that's how it's done. Okay. So I could explain why he sent me to prophesy. Okay. Ta-da! And that's it. Okay. YouTube is letting me, I've been an hour and 20 minutes now, and YouTube's still keeping me around. That's amazing. Okay, whoops, let me just check Twitch just to see if I'm still alive there. Yep, there's no warnings there. So, against this house and against I'll put Jerusalem as the city that he prophesied against. And against Jerusalem. And all the words I heralded they heard. Is that spelled right? They heard. Yes, Jerusalem. And all the words I herald they heard. That's kind of an odd 3-verse. This sounds like this is a comma, this is a period. And all the words I heralded they heard. And all the words for them. And this could be like it's not supposed to be here. That's all I'm saying. There's a good possibility that I'm going to have to leave that there. But that, I'm sure in the future people are going to say, well, this word, this part right here don't sound right. Yeah, I understand that, but I got to say that's, I just don't want to make up my own words here. Not yet, anyway. All right. Heralded, they heard. They are to They're to repent. That's coming from our Creator. They are to repent from their, and when it says ways, I got to put evilness. From their evilness, which covers that right here, and obey YV. And as our Lord, He will change. Okay. And as our, not your, but okay, just do this. And use the correct title here, Lord. Because speaking to the people, I'm pretty sure they were pretty good at this time. Obey YV, and as your Lord. Now this doesn't read that as well. And He yeah, I'm going to have to say He will change His mind about the destruction This is our Creator saying this. He will change His mind about the destruction He had me prophesy against them. So now that I've gotten this far in the text to say this, I remember the verse that I said that I had here. Nope. Where is the one above here? About this, about like a group missing. I'm thinking that's like, I'm pretty sure I was saying it right here, like what was happening here. Then he will make this house and this city. Yeah, this house and city. Uh, desolate. Desolate. I'm not sure what this is. Desolate. I use desolated. I don't need this. Desolated. Oops. This and gray. Okay. It was just on my mind that when I'm reading this is something that I just had in the back of my head that it wasn't correct when I was going through this. Now the story is directly at the priest. This house and city desolated. And that's how my mind works. Okay. Hey, YouTube is still saying the stream is healthy. Now, if he's talking, he isn't going to say it like this. But as for me, he's not going to say. And I don't need this. But it's almost like he's going to say, okay, he's got to change what's going on. He's telling him he had prophesied. Okay. But now I am in their hands. So where'd I have the word? I was free. Told them to free me. Okay, they didn't. They still got them, so that's good. But I am in their hands. You know, to do with me as really they please. Not what is good. When you're grabbed, they ain't grabbing you for your good. So that can't be true. This is more or less truthful. Do with me as they please. Or do right in your sight. Or do right in your sight. He's pleading to the people. Okay. Know for certain. Now, how is he going to be saying that? If they kill me, put to death has got to be kill. So he's not going to say put me to death, condemn me to death is what he would say, but I'm going to put it as if they and I'm going to show why I'm replacing it with one word as all this, kill me. Okay, this goes here, this goes here. Know for certain. But he's playing with them, so he's got to say to those that he's, or do right in your side, or you are to know for certain. It's got to be said better than that. Do I just say the word but know for certain? No, I've got to get the word you in here. But it can't be the word for. You are to know for certain. So get rid of this word. Right in your sight. You are to know for certain. If they kill me, if they kill me, know for certain if they kill, not here, just innocent blood. They kill innocent blood, period. You are to know for certain if they kill me, it will be innocent blood. No, I'm trying to see if the verses down below it can be done any better to say something like, if they kill me, you and yourself in the city know. If they kill me, you yourselves will know. If they kill me, it will be innocent blood. In other words, in other words, he's saying they should look at this as the words. Does the words that our Creator said to prophesy, you know what prophets do, and they're going to kill me for this? It will be innocent blood that they kill because I am saying it's coming from the Creator. Okay. I'm just having a hard time himself writing, it will be innocent blood. But at that time, maybe that's how they would be saying, well, it was innocent blood that they killed. So, okay. I'm talking myself into it, I guess. But see here, this is just a repeat, so I don't need this. Then the guards. Then the guards. Well, let me see here. Then he had the crowd on his side. So then the guards and people were saying, trying to write this as the writer would be writing, as Jeremiah would be writing it. So we're saying, and these, to the priest and their attendants, to the priest and their to the priest and their attendants, no death for this male, if I get rid of this, then it becomes a better 3-verse. For he has being that prophesied, and they would know what it's important there. He has prophesied by the name YV, our Creator. And this would go together. So this I want to just put a couple extra just later that I know that when I'm cleaning up. Okay, now, then some of the elders. That they wouldn't have been there. If I change this, because if this is here and the story is going to be important about Micah, No, it's Uriah that is killed. I would say like after the elders or the olders. After in assemblies. Because this would have been discussed, is what I'm saying later. So is Jeremiah writing this text as to say what happened after? Because he's now just generally writing for himself in this text. And then it would be, this is what would take place. So if I put after here, after I gotta get rid of that. After, and it can't, elders are going to be meaning older people that know the history. Okay. Rose up and and said, told. Too many in a gathering. Not all, but you can't, all is too incumbent. But the group that they were talking to is pretty much what I'm aiming for here. Too many in a, and I'll put gathering, because at the marketplace, I can see that if the market is right around the corner, that this would be discussed by them at that time in a gathering. This is after. Then the elders rose up and said and told many in a gathering. Micah too prophesied. In the days for. Okay, now this is a hint that says that there's no other prophets around. Okay, so but I don't think it's this king. Let me show you why. Let me bring up this timeline. There's Oh, wait a second. Okay. Yeah, I got rid of this. Okay. And he's a good king. Our king for Judah. Now, at that time, you notice he had a capital letter, and I gave him a capital letter. So this was when they were good guys. So to understand that without knowing who he is, and you're reading it for the first time, he gets all caps and bold, and now you understand. So you don't have to go looking it up or making any guesses. Ta-da! Okay, now this is going to be 2 commas. He too prophesied. Prophesied if this is will be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem Zion as Jerusalem. So Jerusalem, I'm trying to find out where I got to break the text here to get 3 words here together. And said, and heralded. And herald, Jerusalem will be plowed as a field and become ruins will become abandoned. 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 Okay. Because it's got to be like what he's saying. It said above. Herald of Jerusalem will be plowed as a field. I'm going to make that my word so I can leave that as black now. And become abandoned. So now that is going to be here. So I do need a 3 out of this. He too prophesied to our people. To our people. He too prophesied to the priests and our people in Judah, saying, this has to be prophesied as well. or prophesizes. Prophesizes, prophesizes, or prophesied. Maybe it was right. I'm just trying to think or to the priest, because that's what he's got to be talking. That's why he's there again. Somebody now else is there. Oh, and it has to be priests. Priest. And to our people in Judah, because now he would be walking around telling them here that they heard about it, but he too prophesied to the priest and of mankind in Judah. And this means under this king, where was it? Where is it? Here. I explained to you he was a good king, and then later I was thinking that priests could be corrupt. So this has to be mankind, because they're the ones that are the foreigners in the land that have a different style of life, like sitting in darkness and marrying with they meditate to have a sex with a so-called female goddess. And I'll explain that a little later, but I don't want to say it 100 times in all these. So just that they sit and meditate. Malachi 2:11, if you read the last part of that verse. And to mankind in Judah. Now, let's see if I copy that and make it yellow. Put it here and say I moved it from here to here. Maybe commanded him to, this would be to prophesy Jerusalem will be plowed as a field and become abandoned. Okay. Got that all figured out. It's about time. And I know there's some more verses here, and I'm now at hour 2, so I got to start speeding this up. I try to make them less than 3 hours. In the mountain of his house, the place of the forest. Okay, I kind of don't need them. Those are over salted. Because he was a good king, why would he? Did Ezekiel? or king for Judah. Did Ezek, we know who he is, put him to death? Did Ezek, this is a question, put him, man, put him to death? But he feared YV? It would be did not Ezek want him dead? Want him dead? And did he not fear YV? So he wanted him dead. But he feared YV. I think that's the best. That's looking good now. Oh, I don't have enough of Isaiah in my memory to say that this is what happened back then. That I could leave it end here. Let's see if I got one, two. No, I need one more. There's one here. And he asked Isaiah for a favor from YV, and he changed his mind. I gotta have that there. And he changed his mind. Now I know the prophet at that time was Isaiah, so this could be the end here. But he feared YV, and that's the wrong start. And he asked Isaiah, I don't think that's how it's spelled. That's how I think it's spelled. And he asked Isaiah to okay, so I'm adding all this to ask YV, and he changed his mind. And then that would be the end of this. Now, as far as this next stuff goes, I don't think this text needs to go any farther. About the misfortune which you pronounced against them. I wouldn't use this word, so I've only got 2 verses here. And it's like the crowd, they're asking to kill him. No, this wouldn't be true. That wouldn't be true at all. None of that. Okay, now here's you're right. Now this guy, this is the guy that the king killed. So we don't need this. Or I don't. I don't need this either. Prophesied. I do need that. Against. Our city. And you know, this is almost like starting to read that this part wasn't written by Jeremiah. Let me get this. Let me put Jerusalem and this meeting. And that is the king I was telling you about that was corrupt as heck. There was also a male who prophesied, and not the name of YV, and has to be changed to by YV's name. Okay. He was named. Now, there was also a male who prophesied by YHVH's name. He was Uriah. It was Uriah, like he's remembering. And that's why I'm kind of like, this is not sounding like Jeremiah. It was Uriah from somewhere prophesied against Jerusalem and our nation. The land is Judah, so maybe I put Judah up there, but I know the story, so this is the bad Judah. Oh, I didn't think I had to go that far for it. Okay. So now that that's corrected, and Judah his words his heralding scares me when I see that warning sign pop up. His heralding was similar to all those Jeremiah heralded. Okay. Seeing this king here can't be this king because that's what he's doing it at. He's doing it at this time. This because he said there was also past tense. Can't be in the same timeline. So let me find the bad king here. Oh, gotta be this guy. Gotta be this guy. This guy's too young. It didn't have enough time. So let me put that over here and let me spell his name here. Manassheh. Okay. Now let me bring this back over here. And then I can get rid of that down there. So now we have the right king. Asby is the only bad king before him. Do I have to put the word and in front of it? And wind? I guess I'm going to just make sure because it's And when King Manasseh and his priests heard his words, as king he sought him to put him to death. Okay, this means this is changing the subject. So it's this words. So I do have to use these words. When Manasseh and his priests and other people heard his words, as king he sought him to put him to death. Okay. But Uriah heard, and he was afraid and fled and went to Egypt. Wow. And they had to spoil that and put that there, but that is some text that I didn't have to. I'm really amazed when I do this and I see only a little bit. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to chat. Are you still around? No, don't look like you're around yet, I don't think. Yep, okay. Sorry, I just seen your text. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll just call you Tad, I guess. But sorry, I was really concentrating to make sure that the story was right here. But Uriah heard and was afraid and fled and went to Egypt. Now, then his king okay, I don't need the word here. Then King Job sent. This is not the right king. Where is it? This king. Then King Manasseh sent men to Egypt. It's just not men. It's got to be his guards. Somebody close enough to him that he's commanding. Just not, because they have to be official to walk into Egypt, okay? You just can't walk into Egypt and do what you want to do. So But if they're coming and seeking him, they would have the authority and probably have a badge or something. I don't know. I just know that when I'm putting the text together like this, that it has to be done with reason to who gets to do what. And logic tells me guards. Now, who is sending him? What am I doing here? Okay. Sorry about that. I wasn't paying attention here. Let me show you. How can I do this? Okay. I'm looking for the hidden formats. And these are, I'm going to put up on the right-hand side, some text that I've done. And you can see that it's by Ezra. And I'm looking for that text. And I can't see it pop up yet for you. So let me just do this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up some of this text. Okay. I'm just going to grab a bunch. Come over here. I'm looking for the first writer's hidden formats in the Bible. And when you see them appear, it gets to be a very unique format. Okay. Notice how this is a statement, and then this word here joins with this word here, or this to define the statement. And then it does it again. Statement, and then these two fulfill this. Now what you're reading here is a small paragraph. This is a small paragraph. But these two go together as a larger paragraph. And that is some of the most beautiful writing never been ever written like before. And what they do then, the text then, it does the same thing. This group and this group will work together. Then this group and this group works together. And if I've got it right, it keeps repeating and repeating the same paragraph. Okay, not much more to go here to end this video, or chapter 26 here in Jeremiah. El-Nanath. Certain men with him went to Egypt. Well, this is already saying it's there. He fled to Egypt, then he sent. So I don't think they need this. And these fuchsia-colored words are words that were added in 1977. Because if he sent the guards to go get him, guards to Egypt, and then I've got, and they brought, and he's a capital letter, from Egypt to, and if I put this, because we already know he's the king, I don't need to use his name again, or the word king, brought him to Manasseh, and he killed him, killed him with a sword. That carried, if he buried him, it's got to be he buried. And buried his dead body. No kidding. Yeah. buried his body and had his. No, I was thinking, what if I switched words around? And buried his body in the graveyard place, in a grave, buried his body in I think they made wood boxes back then, so I put a box in the graveyard. So this needs to be added. This I'm going to say I add. Box in the graveyard. In the graveyard. Graveyard. Okay, I got to have that spelled wrong. Don't. Shocking. In the graveyard. For the common people. For not the common people. But I guess because the king didn't respect anybody, so how can it be? I'm going to put foreigners. It would be real despicable to have his body laying next to foreign people. Foreign people. Foreign bodies? No, for the foreign people. Okay. Now that, better hit the save on that. I can't remember last time I did that. So, okay. Now this can't be done because this was the conversation of the text. This is what was Harold and yeah, okay. There was also a male. So yeah, up here, it breaks into a different story. Yeah, after the elders rose up, after. I put the word after here because they already released him. So we would understand that he was released here. No death. They argued for no death, so they released him. So is this actually the text that would go underneath that and say that he released him, and now we have the names of who he was in? No, I'm just going to get rid of that text there. Not needed. Now I'm going to take all of this that I've done today and copy it, save it, drop down to the end, bring up where I'm actually. Nope, this is I was showing you, so don't save that. Where's Jeremiah? No, this is to that. That isn't what I'm looking for either. Cleaning it up, that's what I'm looking for. Goes down here, that's chapter 25. chapter 26. And if you have a screen capture, I'll show you the text cleaned up and give you a chance to take some screenshots of this, just to have and look at and see if, because I know it's still going to need a more cleanup, because this is my first going over the text. So now to get rid of all the double spaces and hopefully get the right spacing between them. Okay, now I've got to kind of go a little bit slow here to say that, okay, now this would be like this. Then I need 2 here. Then I need 1 space here, 2 spaces there, 1 space here, 2 spaces here, 1 space there, clean that up, 2 spaces, and then 1 space here. And this is where I'm thinking that this is a different story. This is, like I said, there's something missing here. So let me just go with that thought and see how well this does. Then this needs 2, and this needs 2. This needs another space here. And then 2 spaces here. Notice all that text got rid of, and it goes right there. Goes there. Now this is going to be a different subject. When I do this, this would be like another chapter labeled here. So when I put it together, and like this, 2, and then here, 1, 2. But that's how this actually just comes together. I mean, they just start appearing. So, and notice how they are grouping together, as because I'm kind of glancing through. Okay, now wait a second. That didn't add up as smooth as I thought. But I'll look at that later. But I think I've got it close enough and more and correct spacing here. So usually at the beginning of my videos, I start out telling people, just zoom to the end. Okay, you're here at the end. I've got your screenshot ready or program. And I'll say, okay, long enough. Now I'm going to take that and move that out of sight. And say, there's this text. Okay. Oops, I'll take it down here a little bit more. Yep. Now we'll get to the next one here. And then got a lot of text out of it. So that's a good thing. And that's where I'm going to end for today. And I'll be on, like I said, 2 times a day, 6 days a week. Join me. And soon I'll be able to have my new computer. 2 weeks away, all fixed, all done, all kinds of space. I got a lot of things to show you. So stop by. Thanks for the chat. And I will have to say, have a good night.